Chapter 8. When I open my eyes, the light's filtering through the half-closed curtains, blinding me. I can tell just by its position in the room that the sun is new, the morning is young. I don't know when I fell asleep. I don't even know how I managed to accomplish this feat except through sheer exhaustion. My body succumbed to the need even as my mind refused, protesting the decision with a series of nightmares that began to replay as I sit up, closing my eyes against the glare. I spent the night outrunning an indecipherable natural disaster. It was that vintage of vague dream element that makes sense only in the dream and none at all upon waking. I couldn't stop running. I had no choice but to keep moving for fear of being decimated by the impending calamity, searching all the while for Ella, from whom I'd been separated. When I finally heard her voice, it was from high above. Ella was sitting in a tree far from danger, staring happily at the clouds as I ran for my life. The disaster, something like a tornado or tsunami or both, increased in intensity, and I picked up speed, unable to slow down long enough to speak with her, or even to climb the tree, whose trunk was so impossibly tall I couldn't understand how she'd scaled it. In a desperate effort, I called her name, but she didn't hear me. She was turned away, laughing, and I realized then that Kenji was sitting in the tree with her. So was Nazira, who'd no doubt flew them both to safety. I screamed Ella's name once more, and this time she turned at the sound of my voice, meeting my eyes with a kind smile. I finally stopped then, falling to my knees from overexertion. Ella waved at me, just as I was pulled under. A sharp knock at the hospital door has me upright in a moment, my mind on a delay even as my instincts sharpen. I notice only then that Ella's not here. Her rumpled hospital sheets are the only evidence she ever was. I drag a hand down my face as I head for the door, faintly aware I'm still in the clothes I was wearing yesterday. My eyes are dry, my stomach empty, my body exhausted. I'm wrung out. I open the door, so surprised to see Winston's face that I take a step back. I seldom, if ever, speak with Winston. I've never had any specific reason to dislike him, but then he and I are so ill-acquainted. I don't even know if I've ever seen his face from so close a distance. "Wow," he says, blinking at me. "You look like shit." "Good morning." "Right, yeah, good morning." He takes a deep breath and attempts to smile, adjusting his black glasses for no reason but nerves. Winston, I'm baffled to discover, is very nervous to be near me. "Sorry, I was just surprised," he says, rushing his words. "You're usually really, like, put together. Anyway, you might want to take a shower before we get going." I'm so unable to process the absurdity or the audacity of this request that I close the door in his face, turn the lock. The pounding begins immediately after. "Hey!" he says, shouting to be heard. "I'm serious. I'm supposed to take you to breakfast this morning, but I really I don't need a chaperone," I say, pulling off my sweater. This hospital room is one of the larger ones with an ensuite industrial bathroom shower combination. "And I don't need you to remind me to bathe." "I didn't mean it as an insult, damn." A nervous laugh. "Literally everyone tried to warn me that you were hard to deal with, but I thought maybe they were exaggerating, at least a little. That was my mistake. Listen, you look fine, you don't smell or anything. I just think you'll want to take a shower." "Again, I don't need your advice on this matter." I'm stepping out of my pants, folding them carefully to contain the small box still trapped in the pocket. "Leave." I turn on the shower, the sound of which distorts Winston's voice. "Come on, man, don't make this difficult. I was the only one willing to come get you this morning. Everyone else was too afraid." Even Kenji was too tired today to deal with your shit. I hesitate then. I abandon the bathroom, returning to the closed door in only my boxer briefs. Come get me for what? I feel Winston startle at the sound of my voice, so close. He equivocates, saying only, yeah, I can't actually tell you. A terrifying unease moves through me at that. Winston's guilt and fear is palpable, his anxiety growing. Something is wrong. I glance one last time at Ella's empty bed before unlatching the lock. I'm only dimly aware of my appearance, that I'm opening the door in my underwear. I'm reminded swiftly of this fact when Winston does an exaggerated double-take upon seeing me. He quickly averts his eyes. Fucking hell, why'd you have to take off your clothes? What is going on? I ask coldly. Where is Juliet? What? I don't know. Winston's turned away entirely now, pinching the bridge of his nose between his thumb and index finger. And I'm not allowed to tell you what's going on. Why not? He looks up at that, meeting my eyes for only a nanosecond before turning sharply away. A mottled heat rushes up his neck, burns his ears. Please, for the love of God, he says, yanking off his glasses to rub at his face. Put on some clothes. I can't talk to you like this. Then leave. Winston only shakes his head, crossing his arms against his chest. I can't, and I can't tell you what's going on because it's supposed to be a surprise. The fight leaves my body in a single gust, leaving me lightheaded. A surprise? Can you please go take a shower? I'll wait for you outside the MT. Just show up with your clothes on, please. I let the door slam shut between us, then stare at it, my heart pounding wildly in my chest. There's a wave of relief from Winston, then a flicker of happiness. He seems excited. I finally walk away, stepping out of my underwear and tossing it into a nearby laundry bin before entering the quickly steaming shower. I catch my reflection in the floor-length mirror affixed to the wall, my face and body being devoured slowly by steam. It's supposed to be a surprise. For a protracted moment, I can't seem to move. My eyes, I notice, are dilated in this dim light, darker. I look slightly different to myself, my body hardening by degrees every day. I've always been toned, but this is different. My face has lost any lingering softness. My chest is broader, my legs more firmly planted. These slight changes in muscle definition, in vascularity. I can see myself getting older. Our research for the reestablishment indicated that there was once a time when the 20s were considered the prime years of youth. I always struggled to visualize this world, one wherein teenagers were treated like children, where those in their 20s felt young and carefree, their futures boundless. It sounded like fiction. And yet I've often played this game in the privacy of my mind. In another world, I might live in a house with my parents. In another world, I might not even be expected to have a job. In another world, I might not know the weight of death, might never have held a gun, shot a bullet, killed so many. The thoughts register as absurd even as I think them in the alternate universe. I might be considered some kind of adolescent, free from responsibility. Strange. Was there ever truly a world wherein my parents did the job expected of them? Was there ever a reality in which the adults were not murdered merely for resisting fascism, leaving their young children behind to raise themselves? Here, where nearly all of us a contingent of orphans roaming, then running, this broken planet. I often imagine what it'd be like to step into such an alternate reality. I wonder what it'd be like to set down the weight of darkness in exchange for a family, a home, a refuge. I abandoned my reflection to step under the hot water. I never thought I'd come close to touching such a dream. I never thought I'd be able to trust or love or find peace. I've been searching for so long for a pocket of quiet to inhabit, a place to exist unencumbered. I always wanted a door I might close, for even a moment, against the violence of the world. I didn't understand then that a home is not always a place. Sometimes it's a person. I would sleep on the cold floor of our hospital room for the rest of my life if it meant staying by Ella's side. I can forego quiet. I can compartmentalize my need for space, my desire for privacy. But to lose her... I close my eyes against the water pressure, the jet forging tributaries against my face, my body. The heat is a balm, welcome against my skin. I want to burn off the residue of yesterday. I want an explanation for all that happened, or even to forget it altogether. When things are out of alignment between myself and Ella, I can't focus. The world seems colorless, my bones too large for my body. All I want more than anything else is to bridge the distance between us. I want this uncertainty gone. I turn my face up toward the jet, closing my eyes as the water pelts my face. I breathe deep, drawing in water and steam, trying to steady my heartbeat. I know better than to be optimistic, but even as I forbid myself to think it, I cannot help but reflect that the word surprise is seldom associated with something negative. It might have been a poor choice of words on Winston's part, but his moment of excitement seemed to confirm this choice. He might have chose a more pejorative term had he wished to manage my expectations of disappointment. Despite my every silent protest, hope takes hold of me, forces from me the dredge of composure. I lean my forehead against the cool tile, the water beating the scars on my back. I can hardly feel it. The sensations there dulled from nerve damage, scar tissue. I straighten at a sudden sound. I turn, heart racing, at the soft shudder of the bathroom door opening. I already know it's her. I always feel her before I can see her, and when I see her, when she opens the bathroom door and stands there smiling at me, my relief is so acute, I reach for the wall, bracing myself against the cold tile. Ella's holding 2 mugs of coffee, dressed the way she often is, in a soft sweater and jeans, her dark brown hair so long now it skims her elbows. She grins at me, then disappears into the outer room, and I start to follow her, nearly slipping in my haste. I catch the door frame to steady myself, watching as she rests the coffee mug on a nearby table. She slips off her tennis shoes, tugs off her socks. When she pulls her sweater over her head, I have a minor heart attack. She's facing away from me, but her back is bare. She's not wearing a bra. "You were sound asleep this morning," she says, glancing over her shoulder at me as she unbuttons her jeans. "I was afraid to wake you up. I went out to get us some coffee, but the line at breakfast was really long. I'm sorry I wasn't here." She shimmies out of her jeans then, tugging them down over her hips. She's wearing a scrap of lace, masquerading as underwear, and I watch, immobilized, as she bends over to yank off the last part of the jeans, pulling her feet free. When she turns around, I'm struggling to breathe. She's so beautiful I can hardly look at her. I feel as if I've stepped into some strange dream, the debilitating fears that gripped me yesterday somehow forgotten in a moment. Heat courses through me at dangerous speed, my mind unable to grasp what my body clearly understands. There's so much I still need to say to her, so much I remember wanting to ask her. But when she steps out of her underwear and walks through the open bathroom door into the shower and then directly into my arms, I remember nothing. My brain shuts down. Her soft, naked body is pressed against every hard inch of mine, and suddenly I want nothing but this. The need is so great it actually feels like it might break me. "Hey, handsome," she says, peering up at me. She runs her hands down my back, then lower. I can hear her smile. "You look too good in here, all by yourself." I can't speak. She takes my hand, still smiling, and rests it against her breast before slowly guiding it down her body. She's showing me exactly what she wants from me, how she wants it, but I already know. I know where she wants my hands. I know where she wants my mouth. I know where she wants me most of all. I take her into my arms, hitching her leg around my thigh before I kiss her, breaking her open. She's so soft, slick, and eager in my arms, kissing me back with an urgency that drives me wild. I tilt her head back as I break away, kissing her neck, then lower, slowly, carefully, replacing my hands with my mouth everywhere on her body. Her desperate, anguished sounds send shock waves of pleasure through me, setting me on fire. She reaches behind her, searching for purchase against the tile wall, her back arching with pleasure. I love the way she loses herself with me, the way she lets go, trusting me completely with her needs, her pleasure. I never felt closer to her than when we're so entwined, when there's nothing but openness and love between us. She touches me then, gently wraps her hand around me, and I squeeze my eyes shut, hardly able to contain the sound I make, low in my throat. All I can think of in this moment is that I don't want this to be over. I want to be trapped in here for hours, her slick body against mine, her voice in my ear begging me, as she is now, to make love to her. "Please," she says, still touching me. "Aaron." I sink down without warning onto my knees. Ella steps back, confused for all of a second before her eyes widen with understanding. "Come here, love." Ella's hesitant at first. I feel her sudden shyness, desire, and self-consciousness colliding, and I study her as she stands there, the sheen of her wet curves in this light, her long dark hair painted to her skin. Hot drops of water race down her breasts, skim her navel. She's dripping wet, so gorgeous I hardly know what to do with myself. She makes her way over to me slowly, her cheeks pink with heat, her eyes dark with need. I intercept her once she's standing in front of me, planting my hands around her hips. I look up at her in time to see her blush, a moment of self-consciousness, gone in seconds. She's soon gasping my name, her hands in my hair at the back of my neck. She's already so wet, so ready for me, the sight of her, the taste of her. It's too much. I feel like I'm detaching from my mind as I watch her lose herself. I can feel her legs shaking as she cries out for more, for me. And when she comes, she stifles her scream in my hair. I'm on my feet a moment later, capturing the last of her cries with my mouth, kissing her as she trembles in my arms, her harsh breath slowing down. Ella reaches for me even then, touches me until I'm blind with pleasure. She pushes me gently up against the wall, kissing my throat, running her hands down my chest, my torso, and then she sinks to her knees in front of me, taking me into her mouth. I make a tortured sound, grasping at the wall, hardly able to breathe. The pleasure is white-hot, all-encompassing. I can't think around it. I can hardly see straight, and for a moment I think I've actually lost my mind, separated from my body. "Ella," I gasp. "I want you," she says, breaking away, her words hot against my skin. "Please, now." My heart still pounding in my chest, I step aside, turn off the shower. Ella startles, surprised even as she gets to her feet. I step past her to grab a towel for each of us, and she accepts hers with some confusion, refusing to dry herself off. "But—" I scoop her up without a word, and she squeaks, half laughing as I carry her over to the single bed in our room. I lay her down carefully, and she looks up at me, eyes wide with wonder, her hair plastered to her skin, water dripping everywhere. I couldn't care less if we flooded this room. I join her on the bed, carefully straddling her damp, gleaming body before leaning down to kiss her. This need so brutal it's almost indistinguishable from anguish. I touch her while I kiss her, stroking her slowly at first, then deeper, more urgent. She whimpers against my mouth, urging me closer, lifting her hips. I move against her with painstaking slowness, the pleasure so profound it seems to sever my connection to reality. God, you feel so good, I say, hardly recognizing the ragged sound of my own voice. I can't believe you're mine. She only moans my name in response, her arms wrapped tight around my neck as she pulls me closer. I can feel her growing torment, her need to release as great as my own. We find a rhythm as we move. Ella hooks her legs around my waist and she doesn't stop kissing me, my mouth, my cheeks, my jaw, any part of me she can reach, her feverish touches interrupted only by desperate pleas begging me for more, faster, harder. I love you, she says desperately. I love you so much. I let go when I feel her come apart, losing myself in the moment with a stifled cry, my body seizing as it succumbs to this, the most acute form of pleasure. I bury my face in her chest, listening to the sound of her racing heart for only a moment before disengaging myself, for fear of crushing her. Somehow the two of us manage, just barely, to squeeze in together on the narrow bed. Ella tucks herself into my side, pressing her face against my neck, and I reach for the insubstantial covers, drawing them up around us. She grazes my chest with the tips of her fingers, drawing patterns, and this single action ignites a low heat deep inside me. I could do this all day. I don't care what happened yesterday. I don't need an explanation. None of it seems to matter anymore, not when she's here with me. Not when her naked body is wrapped up in mine. Not when she draws her hands along my skin, touching me with a tenderness that tells me everything I need to know. All I want is this. Her. Us. I don't even realize I've fallen asleep until her voice startles me awake. Aaron, she whispers. It takes me a moment to open my eyes, to find my voice. I turn toward her as if I'm in a dream, pressing a soft kiss to her forehead. Yes, love? There's something I want to show you.